You're listening to Indiana Originals Radio, leading local living.
I'm going back to Indiana now.
Welcome back to the first day on 93 WIBC. It is Terry Stacy, and in studio with me this morning, a lovely lady and also Mel McMahon. No, wait. Should we start over again? No. Okay. Mel McMahon, my friend, my dear friend, Mel McMahon, the founder of EndianaOriginals.com.
Good morning,
Truly.
Terry. It's a big day.
It is a big
Expo
day.
and Marketplace Day
Yes.
at Starrett Center in
Woo!
Lawrence. So excited. We'll
I know
talk a
it.
little bit more about that when we wrap things up.
All right,
It's a big day, and we have an awesome guest with us.
We do.
And I'm excited to introduce Sheryl Matthys with Successful Women Made Here. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, well, thank you so much for having me, Mel and Terry.
It's
Well,
good to meet
it's fun
you.
to have Cheryl in studio because, you know, she's a fellow media woman.
Yeah,
like
from
us.
up north, northern Indiana.
Yes, it was.
Oh, that's all
Where
we're going
she
to say.
started, she's been in Louisville, she's been in New York, she's been everywhere, and now she is right back here in Indianapolis, and you've started your own company.
I have. It's called Successful Women Made Here. It started basically from my starting some other businesses and feeling like I was always going it alone. But actually, I kind of tell this story. There's really kind of two reasons why I even started, and I abbreviate the name to just SWMH. So if I just refer to it as that too. Two reasons really. One being more politically correct, and one being maybe not so politically correct. So I don't know if you want to hear both versions.
Yeah, go
We
for
do,
it.
We do.
Okay, get to the juicy parts.
Yeah.
So I'll start with more the politically correct. Is that, as I mentioned, I started these businesses and just felt like I was always kind of going it alone. You know, you'd ask people like, well, how did you do that? Or who did you get to do that? And sometimes they would share and sometimes not. And oftentimes even those who wouldn't share the most were even fellow women. And I kind of thought, what's going on here? And maybe we can change some of that. So when we moved back to Indiana, I thought, well, I want to start something. And I went to some networking groups, and that's all well and good, but I don't know if you're like me, and I'm even an extrovert, I would consider myself, but I always felt a little uncomfortable pushing the card and, oh, here, you know, you couldn't get the card quick enough. And if you worked the room, and maybe you were lucky if you got 5 cards, and then you realized they weren't really contacts that are going to really benefit either one of you. So that was kind of the impetus of, I thought, you know what, then why not just design it how I would like it to be? And I hope that that attracts also other women. So it includes bringing in a speaker spotlight, a woman who actually will share how she maybe made millions, made that product, got herself out into the marketplace, as well as marketing training, and then what I refer to as a mastermind at the end, where everybody says one time to everyone who they are, what they do, and how we could best help one another.
What was interesting about the experience I recently had going to one of your events, hosted by David A. Noyes and Company,
Yes.
that everyone seemed so genuinely curious about another woman in the room. It wasn't I don't know if I want to meet that person. It was who are you and what do you do? How did you find out about this?
And really
it's
learn
so
from
nice
each other.
to meet you.
Yeah.
And it was just a different kind of conversation. And Terry and I talk about this a lot. You know, sometimes in the workplace, you know, women can have different relationships with each other depending on what they do or what their status is or what their role is. Sometimes I feel that we as females kind of manifest that without even realizing that we're doing
completely.
that.
Yes.
And so what you're trying to do is kind of break down those barriers and get women to support each other more. And you've had some amazing speakers at your events too. Tell us about some of the women that have been the stars of these events.
Yeah. Well, thank you, first of all, for having that observation. And I have a lot of women say that, wow, this didn't feel catty and this felt real. Yeah. So I am so glad you were able to join us recently and have that experience. So, right, I've had people like Pippa Mann, the race car driver, Sarah Fisher, who's now even a team owner, to Amber Crockett, who started up Amber Blends, and everybody, we know we love her oils and how well they smell, to a lady who does body language, even for the White House and the FBI.
Oh, we love her too.
Yeah. So just learning about those kind of experiences. And so it's been fascinating to just be in the room and have kind of a more intimate relationship, I think, with not only one another, the women in the group, like you said, oh, wow, what do you do? And genuinely being interested, to these fascinating women that we get to really be able to ask questions of and feel free to do that.
Well, and something else that's different too is you have a roundtable session at the end where you talk about one or two topics from the speaker that kind of hit home for you, and you can either ask questions or you can kind of share your opinion or comment on it. What have you found has come from that experience for the women that come to this event often?
Oh, it's been life-changing, and I don't say that lightly, because this is a part, too, and that's the part I refer to as the mastermind, where really everyone will take part. So you will never come and feel like, oh, I never even got to say anything or chime in, or I felt this way. Everybody truly shares what they may have gained by whether it was what somebody was talking about earlier. So we've had people make amazing connections there. We've had people go into business with one another throughout that, become great friends. So I mean, almost the gamut runs wild in terms of what has come through of experiencing even the mastermind. And we do all this in 2 hours. So it happens really quickly. Now, I don't know if you want me to get to that other.
We've been waiting.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
that was a great tease. We've been waiting.
So I'd have to say, coming back to Indiana, and you would think, again, I experienced New York City life for 13 years and kind of beating the streets and all that. But I came back and felt a little disjointed, and so I'd have to say part of my other reasons were somewhat selfish in a sense that I didn't really have any friends coming back to a new, again, place, as well as just, having this hope, too, that could things really be different for women? And so I say maybe it's not necessarily politically correct to maybe admit that, okay, I kind of did it because I just wanted to make friends. But also, along with that was, even though I may have had these successes along the way and starting some of these other businesses and getting on national media and writing a book and getting, some great attention, by the same token, there are times, and, it might even be a little bit of every day, where I feel like a failure. And so part of starting something by the name of Successful Women Made Here is also in part that to remind myself every day, we can have little successes, even if they may feel truly minute, success in some form or fashion every day. And let that be the thing that really overtakes us and gains us that confidence, that motivation, the inspiration. Because I don't know if anybody else is like me, but, there's truly times too where I feel like, oh my God, I'm a failure.
Not only is that women, but that's every entrepreneur out there. Because I really don't feel that when you're successful unless you've had these failures, unless you've had these little mistakes along the way that you've learned from. Mm-hmm. So unless you've had that, you're not going to be successful because you have no way to measure it.
That's a great way of looking at it. Exactly. You have to feel the lows in order to experience and realize the highs.
Exactly. And someone told me, and actually another Indiana Originals member, she owns Primal 5, that you cannot put a cap on your happiness. There is no ceiling of how happy you can be.
There's no end. There's no end.
So for you, Sheryl, what is your big dream for successful women?
Mm-hmm. I feel successful when women walk away, no matter how small or big the group, but that they feel like they can walk out that door and be more content, happier, inspired, motivated. So whatever form or fashion that comes in, and granted right now we're local and I love that. We are an Indiana original and part of your team and on your site. Also, I want to impact women around the world, to take this even beyond Indiana, but knowing that it starts here. And I think it's being an Indiana original too is really important because even though I went and lived in other places, my roots though are here and my value system is from here. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. Actually, I even created a whole documentary called Subway Baby, all about what I called my 3 C's. And I give full credit in that to being a Hoosier and being born and bred in the state of Indiana. And those 3 C's were courtesy, common sense, and courage. And
I love that.
I think it takes those 3 things. And I think we get that by having lived here. Maybe it's being raised here, born here especially. So, that's my true goal for something like this, that every woman can feel empowered no matter where they live.
We'll have to do an entire show on that documentary.
Awesome.
It sounds fantastic.
Awesome.
Cheryl, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. And we will have a lot of great business owners like you at the Indiana Originals Expo and Marketplace presented by the City of Lawrence. It's starting in just less than an hour.
Okay. Yep.
Right around noon.
We'll be there.
We're so excited to have you and have all these great businesses just working together.
So thank you so much, Mel and Terry, for having me here today. And I'm so excited to be part of Indiana Originals.
IndianaOriginals.com and our Neighbor to Neighbor program headed up to the Lawrence area to be a part of it as well. Right here on 93 WIBC.
Thanks for listening to Indiana Originals Radio. Check us out at 93 WIBC Sunday mornings at 1045.
I'm going back to Indiana.
And visit IndianaOriginals.com to find local businesses near you. Indiana Originals, leading local living.